Mm-hmm. Okay, YouTubers and reptile freaks, by viewer request, I had some people wanted to see me get Moses out, or at least see him, so I'm going to take Moses out of the cage, kind of hold him a little bit, let you guys see him, and throw him in a tub to soak. He just pooped, made a mess of his cage, and shed also. He's got some stuck shed on there, so we're going to yank him out, hold him, let you guys see him, throw him in the tub to soak, and then clean his cage so you kind of get to see what I do when I take the snakes out to clean them, and so on and so forth. So here we go, guys. All right, bud. Let's go, mister. Oh, there he goes, bud. Like a tornado. Here, come on, Moses. He's a big boy. All right. Be still for the camera, Moses. One of these days I'm going to get my big reptile room set up, and I'll be able to get the camera far away enough where you can see everything. So there's half this snake you can't even see, but this guy, I haven't had him out in quite a while. Like I said before, it's winter time, and I don't get these guys out as much just because of the colder temperatures. Needs a workout, guys. Snakes will be snakes. Calm down, buddy. Usually he's like a tornado when I first get him out, and then after a little while he calms down. Anyway, once we're done here, I'm going to stick him in that tub and let him soak. He loves to soak, so as soon as I stick his snout in that water, he'll dive right in. Now you guys know why a lot of times when I make these videos I'm out of breath, because I'm hanging on to these guys. So I have been back in the gym now that my finger's a little bit better, and I've been trying to do cardio, give myself a little more endurance. Come on, buddy. So this is Moses. Be still, bud. Be still for the camera so everybody can see you. Get a close-up of him. He's locked around one of my legs. Actually, he's around both legs. You can't see it. Let me tilt the camera down a little bit. I've got to take baby steps. Okay, here we go. See this, guys? There ain't no, when I handle this guy, I try to keep both hands free and I don't let them wrap around my neck. Just for that very reason right there. is he'll grab a hold and he won't want to let go. And he's just hanging on to me to secure himself. That's all he's doing. Tilt the camera back up. Woo! Okay. There we go. Good boy. Be still for the camera, mister. This thing is a solid rock. I don't know how long he is. I'd say he's probably in the 14-foot range. Something like that. And I can't remember how much he weighed the last time I weighed him. It was, I've got it written down over there. I think it was around 70 pounds. So, but he's been, he hasn't eaten in quite a while actually. I think the last time he ate was probably 3 months ago, 2 to 3 months. But that's all right. He definitely hasn't lost any weight. Snakes are equipped to go for long periods of time without food. Good boy. Be still. Attaboy. Now I have noticed with these, at least with my snakes, that they have acted differently when other people have handled them. So I don't know if that's due to my handling, the way I handle them, or if they actually recognize me as their owner and their caretaker. It's hard saying. Good boy. But they are amazing animals. And he's being very still, which is good. It's better than him being a tornado in here. I was carrying him out one time in the summer, taking him outside, and he got wound up in my storm door as I was exiting the house, and it took me about a half hour to get this guy out of that door. He's so long, every time I'd free up one end, the other end would anchor down onto the door. And there was a couple times he near about got up on the roof of the house, which would not have been good. Usually this guy, when he's loose, he likes to go up. And he has bit me before. That one time that he got wound up in the storm door as I was walking to take him outside, I finally got him freed up. It took me a long time. And I sat down in the front yard with him, had him on my lap, and he was just calm like this, nice and easy. And I sat there for about 10 minutes, and a car drove by real fast, and I heard him jerk, or I felt him jerk. You know, it kind of did the twitch. You know how they do when you first open the cage and you touch them, their whole body twitches. And when he did that, I moved, and his head twisted around, and he bit me right on the wrist, right here. And thankfully, it didn't do any damage. But as I was sitting there, I was like, oh boy, you know, now I'm gonna have to get him inside. My hand's bleeding like crazy. So I had a long sleeve shirt on from work. I yanked my shirt off and wrapped it around my arm and tied it down tight to kind of hold the blood in. And then I carried him back inside and put him back in his cage. But there's been a couple other occasions when I had him out. I'd put him in the tote, carry him outside, and then lift the lid off the tote outside, pull him out of the tote, drag him across the yard, and he would find his way back to the tote and go inside that tote, coil up in it without the lid on it. And I'd pull him back out, take him across the yard, and he would scoot across the yard, go right back to the tote. So they are pretty basic animals, basic creatures, but you know, there is a little something going on in there. He was smart enough to know where his tub was at, or the tote that I carried him out there, and he wanted to go right back inside of it. So this is a pretty good sized animal. So like I said in other videos, people can't understand why you keep them in, why I keep them in these little bitty cages, and it's just not necessary. Oftentimes when I turn him loose, especially Zulu down there, he'll crawl across, and I'll turn him loose in the house, like when I'm cleaning. He'll go across, find the smallest, tightest area he can fit in, and he'll wedge himself in there. And there's been, you know, it's either under the bed, behind the gun safe, behind the dresser, underneath the cage, and he'll sit there for hours and he won't go nowhere until I pick him back up and take him back, put him back into his cage. So, and there's some that when I turn them loose, they like to roam around, like my other male, Mickey, the one that's always arching his back. He likes crawling around, but not all of them do that. A lot of times they'll find a good small, a real small, tight space. It's dark and cool, and that's where they'll hang out. That's where they go. But let me move the camera down again so you guys can see him. He's anchored around my leg really good. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Okay. All right, Moses. Look at the camera, bud. You look at the camera? Gorgeous animals. He's absolutely beautiful. He's got this, especially after he sheds, he's got this iridescence to his skin. It's quite amazing. Now he's nice and calm now. But when I first go into that cage, that's his cage, that's his territory, that's his safe place. Look at the camera, buddy. Good boy. A lot of times if I open a cage, they'll stay in the cage. Actually, I made a video the other day. I took 3 tubs out, had 3 snakes in there. Put them in the room, just laid them on the floor, set up the tripod. I never uploaded the video. But those snakes stayed in there for an hour, didn't even move. I think one, the ball python, eventually came out, but in open area, when you pull the tub out, where they can crawl right out, they stay in their tub. They don't want to go nowhere. He's still wrapped around my leg. Come here, buddy. Good boy. That's a good boy. Good boy. He's my buddy. That's me, bud. Good boy. More cardio. I just did 20 minutes on the stair mill tonight. I'm breathing heavier handling this guy than I was on the stair mill after 20 minutes. But good boy. I think I've had this snake for about, I lose track of time. I think I've had him around 3 years, something, maybe 2.5 years. But he wasn't quite this big when I first got him. He was about the same length. He's probably put on a foot and a half of length. but his mass is doubled. And he's not fat by no means. I mean, where he's wrapped around my leg, it's like, it's solid. But this guy, he'll eat chickens, rabbits, rats. I haven't tried guinea pigs, and I haven't tried pigs, but maybe a day or two after I get his cage clean here tonight, I'll throw a rabbit in there. See if he'll eat. Doesn't look like he's gone long without food though, by his size. Good boy. I don't know how old this guy is. There's people that ask me how old he is. You know, there's no telling. He could be 10 years old for all I know. He's been, up to the point that I got him, he'd been passed around. So he'd gone from one keeper to another. So after I got my hands on him, this is his last stop. He'll be with me till he goes to snake heaven. He's not going nowhere. But he could be, heck, he could be 10, 12 years old. It's hard telling with snakes due to feeding rate and so on. You know, you could have a 2-year-old snake. Actually, I do. I've got a couple super tigers over here that are, they're going on 3 years old. They're about 2.5, and they're tiny compared to a couple of these others. I've got another snake she'll be 3 this April. It's my genetic stripe, and she's near about as big as this guy is. And she's just about 3 years old. And this guy, I don't know, like I said, he might be 10 years old. But once again, this is a reticulated python. Look how calm he is. Good boy. These guys have massive, their teeth are humongous. It's kind of hard to tell, even when they open their mouth, because most of their tooth is covered by their gums, but even if I barely stuck my finger in there and just barely touched him with his teeth, they're sharp enough they'll cut you right open. I mean, honestly, if this guy wanted to, he could flip around and bite me on the face. He could bite me on the arm, and it would be an almost immediate guaranteed hospital visit. Guaranteed. Good boy. And as soon as I stick his head in that water, he'll probably go flying right off me and go into that water tub to soak. But pick him back up and make sure you can see this on the camera. I stick him in there. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. All right, Moses. We're gonna put you in the water tub to take a bath. In you go. In you go. Come on. Come on. You know the deal. Hey, atta boy. Look at there, guys. He loves his baths. Come on, get off my foot, because it's cramping up now. Good boy. So all you gotta do is stick their head in there, and he goes. The same thing will happen when I put him back in the cage. I'll just lift his head out, stick his head in there, and whoosh, he'll go right in. Let's get a close-up of that so you can see him in there. Bear with me, guys. So you can see Mr. Moses in here. He'll stay in there. He won't go nowhere. I can even leave the lid off. He loves his baths. I've got a couple other snakes that you stick them in the tub. They do not like to soak, but believe it or not, each and every one of these has their own personality. And actually tonight it was a little easier than normal taking him out of the cage. Usually it's a little tougher than that. He's banging around. Sometimes he'll try to bite. And this time I just kind of made sure his head was facing the other direction and grabbed a hold of him and pulled him out. Don't be shy, bud. Easy, boy. Easy. See if we get a headshot of him. It's gonna be a long video, guys. Here we go. Look at that. Don't be shy, buddy. Come here. Be still. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, bud. All right. Put the lid on. Push that out. Clean this cage. You guys can kind of see how I do this. Okay. So what I like to do is I have a 5-gallon bucket ready to go. I keep a whole bunch of hand towels. I keep a 1-gallon pump-up sprayer from Home Depot. And so what I put in a sprayer from Home Depot, it's just water, tap water, and Lysol. It's like a 1 to 4 part or 4 to 1 mixture of Lysol to water. So I'll soak the cage down with that. I'll pop the windows out every time. Glass comes out. Spray the glass. Usually when I'm cleaning, I'll take several more snakes out. Usually all the females, I'll turn them loose. The males I keep split up. Males get pretty nasty when they come across paths. And I'll have a big rolling Rubbermaid tub, a Rubbermaid trash can that I put all the paper in, and I'll drain all the water bowls in this 5-gallon bucket. But tonight I'll just put everything into the bucket. Another one of my tools people often ask me is my hook that I used. And it's a fiberglass / polycarbonate hook. And I got that from, the website is aestoney.com. The letter A, the letter E, STONEY.com. And he has tongs, feeding tongs, hooks, all different size hooks, bags. He's got all kinds of stuff on that website. That's the hook I use. I've got a couple of them. For the cages, I'll use just a regular ice scraper. Helps get all this stuff off. Try to get all the loose parts out first. Okay. Soak the cage down. So I've got so many cages, so many snakes to take care of. I try to keep stuff as efficient and streamlined as I can. That way it doesn't take me so long. If I have to go through all these cages, it usually takes me about 3 to 4 hours to do all of them. And that's while I'm cleaning. I let the snakes crawl around inside the house. But while I'm doing this, usually I'll have 2 or 3 cages open that I've sprayed down. They're soaking out. But clean glass. For the bedding, I use paper instead of bedding. Some people like to use the like cypress mulch or aspen, but I have in the past. The only thing I don't like about it is whenever you get a snake out, you know, often they hook their tail on everything that it drags across. It just automatically grab a hold of it, and they'll grab a great big pile of bedding with them. So when I use that kind of bedding, I was always sweeping up all the time. And that stuff there'd be wood chips scattered throughout the entire house from them snakes, dragging that stuff around. The one nice thing about that stuff is the absorbency, you know, so when they poop or urinate or peed, that bedding would kind of help absorb it. And with the paper, with craft paper, it doesn't work like that. If they spill their water, if they pee just a little bit, you know immediately. So they both kind of have their trade-offs, their pros and cons. You'll be cleaning a little more often with paper, but it's all right. But the paper I use is it's a 60-pound basis craft paper, and I buy this stuff by the roll from Amazon. Either Amazon or eBay. The prices vary all the time. For this stuff I buy it's a 36-inch roll, so the roll is, you know, this is about, I think this is 28 inches, but the roll is 36 wide. So what I do is I cut the roll down to the depth of the cage, and then I've got a little stand for the paper, and I'll pull off, you know, X amount of paper, the pre-cut lengths that fits just exactly fits in the cage. So this stuff goes in. And slightly longer than the inside of the cage, so what I do is run one edge up flat, and then the other edge I'll put a crease in there. So that's done, that's it. And then glass goes back in. So his cage is clean now. Also the water bowls, I used to use a 3-gallon water bowl, but anymore, I use these. This thing is 97 cents at Walmart, but I really see no point in keeping a 3-gallon water bowl in the cage because, for one, the snake's way too big to get in it anyway and soak. So, and then two, if it spills or the snake flips it over, because they can, then you have 3 gallons of water in the cage, which is a pain to clean up. So there's no sense in having a great big ginormous water bowl. So I'll put, this is like a half a gallon, and it's more than enough for them to drink. So I'll just fill this thing up and let it spill over, and then that'll give the cage a little bit of humidity. So if they spill this, it's no big deal. It's only a half, you know, a half gallon spilled is better than 3 gallons. I just plop that in there. Got a big water jug. Fill that up. Sometimes I'll reach in these cages if they need some water or some humidity. I'll come in here and I'll just stick my hand in that water bowl and splash it out a little bit. These hand towels, I've got like 30 of these things, so I've got enough to where I could use 1 hand towel per cage if I wanted to. It's no biggie. So that's done. Okay, this is another thing. This cage here, this cage is manufactured by Animal Plastics. Their website is apcages.com, and this cage is 6 foot long, 2.5 foot deep, and 1.5 feet tall. And every one of these cages has a radiant heat panel in it. So there's a panel up in the ceiling, and then every cage has its own thermostat. So, and then the thermostat probe hangs right where the panel wire exits the back of the cage. So you can see the probe back here. But I can't remember what I have these set at. I usually use a thermal gun and just shine it on the floor. Usually my floor temp's around 95 degrees or so. And even if you set the thermostat for 92, the floor temp's going to be quite a bit higher, but the thing is, where the thermostat is positioned is if the snake goes to that side, the probe will rest on the snake, so the probe will immediately pick up whatever the snake's body temperature is, and you know, it'll do its thing from there. So, but let's get Moses back out. I've got cords scattered everywhere in here. I'm in the process of rewiring my house. This house had the really old wiring in it that was cloth wound, and it was a fire hazard, and it needed to be changed. And the reason I have a bunch of cords and extension cord in here is some of these outlets have quit working, so the other side of the house has been rewired, at least all the outlets, and plugged into one of those. So eventually all these outlets will get rewired. And then past that, half the basement will get finished, and everything's gonna go in the basement in one big giant room. So that'll be really nice. Okay. Yeah, this video is gonna be really long. It's already at 35 minutes. So you guys will have to watch just a little bit here and there. Personally, me, I'm always on the move, so it's hard for me to sit down for more than 5-10 minutes and watch some of these videos. Honestly, I really don't have the time to sit and watch them, so you guys will just have to watch a little bit here and there of this one. But He's still down in there. His head's underwater. Who knows how long he's been underwater. They can hold their breath for a long time, I know that. But so what I'll do now is just lift him back up, stick his head just kind of over the edge of the cage of the barrier there for the bedding barrier, and he'll zip right up in there. Zip right on up in there. Also, when I do this, I'll put a towel on the cage on the edge right here. That way, as he crawls in there, it'll wipe some of the water off his bottom side, off his belly, and then he won't catch the paper and drag the paper everywhere. So. Alright, Moses, sorry bud. I know you want to soak, but I've got to get you in this cage and I've got to go to bed. Good boy. Moses, smile for the camera. Be still, bud. Okay, bud. Here you go, buddy. Go on. Come on. Sometimes you gotta give him a little tickle to get him go. There he goes. Come on, buddy. There's some skin shed right there. Let's get that skin off him. Oh well, I'll get that later. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed getting to see Moses. It's been a while since I've taken him out. So get to see kind of a little bit of the process on how I clean my cage. And hopefully for the other keepers out there, that may give you guys some ideas on how to streamline your cleaning process. But I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good night, guys. Thank you.